Number one rule of Wall Street: nobody, I don't care if you're Warren Buffett or if you're Jimmy Buffett, nobody knows if a stock is going to go up, down, sideways, or in fucking circles. Least of all stockbrokers, right? It's all a fugazi. You know what a fugazi is?
No, fugazi. It's fake.
Yeah, fugazi. It's a wazi, it's a woozy, it's a fairy dust. It doesn't exist. It's never landed. It is no matter. It's not on the elemental chart. It's not fucking real.
Right?
All right? Right.
If you know the name of the theorem that I am going to explain to you in this video, put it in the comments. If you put 1,000 monkeys to type in front of 1,000 computers, assuming that the monkeys have no idea what they are doing, and you leave them in front of that machine to continuously type letters into the computer at a random for a period of infinite time, at some point, in some completely random way, and without being aware of the achievement that these monkeys have just performed, they will be able to write the works of Shakespeare or the book of Don Quixote from start to finish. What this is trying to explain is that no matter how improbable something is, the probability of its occurrence is never necessarily zero. The probability that a bunch of monkeys write Don Quixote without having any idea of what they are doing is practically non-existent, but compared to infinity, or in other words, depending on the time, it is still probability. Therefore, what we think is possible or impossible depends on the amount of time over which we judge it. In trading, this phenomenon happens in front of your eyes, but most of you do not know how to recognize it. The truth is, nobody knows what happens behind the movements of a chart. And just like the monkeys, in reality, we do not have the slightest idea why that price is going up or down. None of us can control what the price is going to do. We don't know how much it will move, or when or how fast or slow it will. When you are trying to find a strategy, just like most people, you are literally working like monkeys in front of a computer, typing randomly with very low chances of ever finding the infallible strategy that will allow you to win over a long period of time and survive the manipulation of the business, just by obeying that special strategy. This is one of the reasons why the title of my book says that if you don't understand trading in a more realistic and profound way, you become another losing monkey, wasting energy, money, and time. There's a minimal probability and hope that one day you will find a strategy that overcomes entropy, that is not affected by external changes you don't control, nor by the needs of the banks that own the business. It is possible, but in reality, do you really think that this should be your goal, and that along this pathway, your resources such as time, money, and willpower will last you all the way down that road? If you realize, most people focused on typing things on the computer, or seeing in another way, putting things on top of the chart subjectively, either doing backtesting, detecting symbols, putting indicators, drawing lines, combining theories, naming figures, believing they can detect order blocks and imbalances, etc. When you enter this business, the only thing that unfortunately remains for you to do without even realizing it is the imitation of what others monkey are doing. Monkey see, monkey do. You begin to describe and refer to the market as others speak and perceive, thus voluntarily adding yourself to the group of monkeys that spend their time typing randomly in an infinite game, which is trading, while the price keeps moving. Not because you put something on the chart, or because you name some pieces of the chart that for you are more valid due to an ideology. The price does not go up or down because you think you found an order block. The price moves by many different aspects that nobody can consistently know. Therefore, the chances then that you win by adapting skillfully following price, like in the rest of this video, it is greater than that of trying to find the correct combination from the million possible by doing the same thing that the majority does. How are you? I am going to use this tool, which is a simulator in our training that helps practitioners to be able to pick any date and be able to start making the simple decisions. In this case, I am selecting the year 2019 and the month of May, just because this video will be released in this month. Another important thing is that if you truly develop the skill to trade simply, the amount of money you start an account with should not be a problem. As you can see, I am starting with $1,000. In this simulation, I am using 4-hour time frame, although in the future videos you will see that because price is the same in all time frames, if you develop the skill of equity management, simplicity and adaptability, you can trade in any time frame you want, and is the most suitable according to your daily life and makes you feel more comfortable. We establish a risk of 5% per trade, but in addition, if you notice, these are tick charts. They are not candlestick formations. I also won't put any type of line or indicator or tool on top of the chart, but leave it as how naturally you will see it with nothing on top of it. This is very important because part of being able to realize how you can really observe price on the right side of the chart, because when you come to trading for the first time, you know you don't have any idea of what's going on. Therefore, in reality, you don't have ideas, but the ideas of others get you. Now, this is possible when you start because you actually don't know, but that's the reality of everybody, even people like me that have been doing this for a long time. But when you then know that you don't know and then believe that can't know, is when you start looking for answers of how to enter the market, what's the best strategy or method. All this takes you to the long and never-ending journey of consumption, of waste of time and money. Just consider how many books about candlestick formation exist. If you go to Amazon or somebody shares them in a trading group, or simply you look them up on Google, best books of Japanese candlestick formations. With a desire of becoming profitable, you read as many as you can because you think they will give you the knowledge, and when you think you know and feel ready, we change the type of chart to a tick chart, and that simple change eliminates all you think you know about the candlestick formations. Then what is the utility of knowing the candle patterns if we simply change the type of charts? If you can't take action in a chart of this type or another because what you think you know can be applied, then you have to wonder, what did you learn and how irrelevant that knowledge becomes. And this is just one example regarding candlestick formations. You have to understand that change is the disruptor of what we think we know. The fact that the price goes against of what your strategy tells you is what eliminates what you think you know. And this is precisely why in your head you always feel uncomfortable. You feel this anguish and fear that what you think you know does not fulfill. This is why you enter the trade and are constantly watching the chart, monitoring if what you think you know is confirmed or fulfills something that you have validated. If price does something against your expectations, you keep studying and studying. You constantly are comparing yourself with the gurus or prophets of the market that seem to know perfectly where the price will go and how to detect order blocks and imbalances using one piece of a chart, proclaiming to you how what they say was fulfilled perfectly. But it seems that you are the only one that can actually do it. This is where there's a key component why you are trapped by the ideas of others and can't escape from them. And that is that anything that I put on top of the chart, in some moment it will coincide with the movement and direction of price. What you want is being able to develop the capacity of following price in the present. If you pay attention, you can see the line of opening price, and then the next line will move away and move closer to the opening price. And this is actually a simple process that when you understand it becomes very clear and simple. But unfortunately, most people won't teach you to observe these processes so you can practice adaptation in the present, because they are blinded by their own ideas and teach you trading with subjective validation that are in the left side of the chart that need to be stacked together in order to find convergence. And also you have to go farther and farther to the past to accumulate and make a decision in the present. And this happens because literally if I have an idea or I am using the idea of someone else and apply it on the chart, the only reason I will validate it or not depends on if the price went to my favor or not. If price goes to the positive side, that makes me think that there was accomplishment, that what I used or put on top of the chart was the reason the price went to my favor, and not because it was just a coincidence that price just went to that direction at that moment. Unfortunately, this same phenomenon blinds me to the fact that the opposite was also possible. And this is actually the most insidious in trading because it makes you feel emotions that have no foundation, like euphoria, happiness, joy, fulfillment, as if really you have done something right. The problem is that you will feel miserable, incompetent, sad, insufficient as well when prices different of what you expected. Therefore, feel good or bad about yourself depending of if something was fulfilled or not is completely illogical. It does not make sense that either you feel happy or feel sad or angry because of a movement that you do not control. Therefore, if I put on top of the chart, for example, a trend line, or I say that this high broke or changed the structure, and I say that price is bouncing from that trend line or creating an imbalance between these two prices, and I believe that this is a good opportunity to buy, only two things can happen, and that is price can go up or down. It's going to go to my favor or against me. Then realize that with this mindset, you are not following price with the skill because it's the same in all time frames on the right side of the chart, but fighting inside your head, deciding what belief in your head is stronger to pull the trigger. I can put a trend line, I can say here there's an order block, I can say that here is a support that can become resistance, that price is falling because here is an imbalance. I can put on top of the chart as many things as I want, and you can find online hundreds and thousands of things that you can put on top of the chart, and the binary movement of price will coincide with some in some occasions and coincide with others in other occasions, and this puts you in the endless pathway of discovering which one is better, not realizing that anything can be useful depending on the time and the space. That means when and how long something is used. This means that you can use any thick chart at any moment to follow price in the present.
Llevo 8 años en el trading sin resultados. Entonces ya me imagino que te imaginas cómo me siento. No, yo la verdad hace poquito sí pensé, no, voy a dejarlo, no voy a seguir, pues ya llevo mucho tiempo y esto no va como para ningún lado.
La verdad me parece, no sé si es normal que sea tan fácil. Siento como que, ay, sí será así. Ya colocando todas las herramientas de la plantilla y haciendo analizando y utilizando pues los elementos que ya se ha practicado, se multiplica la cuenta muy fácil, o es como tan fácil, y muchas veces, o sea, la mayoría de las veces se da el movimiento y multiplicar la cuenta. Pues, y lo digo porque pues yo ya llevo tiempo y todo es como tan complicado, y que entonces si hace esto y si hace lo otro, y si hace, pues, y yo operaba con, como decía Oliver Vélez, y pues que es el gurú, pues entre comillas, pues como el trader más teso y el que lleva más tiempo en el mercado, que él le ha enseñado a todos los que están, a todos los tesos, le enseñó. Y la verdad, con FX Logo es como vuela la cabeza, es tan sencillo, sí. Entonces, no sé, pregunto, ¿es normal lo que siento, lo que me pasa, que uno entre como en ese shock y se dé cuenta como que la cosa no había que complicarla tanto? Pues, y me alegra, o sea, digo, me alegra en el tiempo pues que he hecho trading y pues todas las experiencias y métodos que he visto. Sí, esto la verdad me ha abierto la mente, pues, y o sea, lo he visto ya de otra manera, o sea, es otra forma de pensar, es otra forma de no analizar, porque es que la verdad no hay que analizar eso, pero sí, eso es una forma muy diferente. Y lo que tú dices que lo que es más satisfactorio es como el cambio que hace uno interno, porque sí, o sea, es lo que, o sea, tan acostumbrado como a analizar y como a encontrar como esos patrones, esas cosas, y esto no tengo como que buscar nada, como que el precio es simplemente para donde vaya y yo seguirlo. Y como que es un impacto para mí, como que sí es tan fácil, como si lo estoy haciendo bien, como que si es así, no, esto, entonces a veces no me la creo, pero sí es muy gratificante como darse cuenta como, bueno, sí, la verdad el precio hace lo que sea y yo estoy siguiéndolo y ver pues como los resultados. Entonces ya como con muchas ganas de ver qué se hace la tercera fase.
Friedrich Nietzsche said, "They muddy the water to make it seem deep." One of the tactics of the trading business is that you and others can put on top of the chart whatever you want. There is so much called information that you can use to actually muddy the chart. A clean chart can actually give you more objective information, but unconsciously you muddy it with a bunch of stuff that you just validated subjectively. When others do the same and muddy their charts with their ideas and theories, you do the same and continue the same behavioral pattern, muddying the chart with the ideas of the ideas of the ideas of other people. What you do is actually muddying something that can be very clear and simple from the beginning. You muddy the depth of a business that is simple and clear to see, so you can develop with practice the skill of adaptation, so you have more probabilities of survival and profitability. But unfortunately, your chart, but mostly your mind, continues muddy and even muddier as more time passes, and you continue consuming more subjective ideas of other people because you think they know more than you, ideas that you do not conclude but only accept from others. In an environment that we do not control and where we do not really have real access to important information, the ideas you consume are subjectively validated only. Most methods are full of cognitive biases, beliefs, hypotheses, and this blinds you from the simple depth of the business, which is that the business is designed for you to lose, for you to be distracted, for you to be afraid of change, for your behavior to get conditioned, for you to become domesticated and become a constant consumer of trading products because you always feel that whatever you do is not enough. You have to be able to see the clear and simple depth of the trading business, so you learn from the beginning how to simply adapt to it without having to conform to any ideology, without putting lines and forms, and therefore you realize that you are free to follow price at any moment without subjugating yourself to the ideal of a popular perception. You have to understand that for the sake of the business, this is not convenient. This is why, if you pay attention, any person can record a chart giving his opinion about the past, present, and future of the price movement based on a popular ideology and putting on the chart whatever they value more. So, giving you a meaning where that person and yourself still don't know why price moved in the way it did and what price will do next. Now, you have to wonder, why is this allowed? Why the business owners don't regulate the proliferation of courses and trading content in order to preserve the well-being of its clients, bring in the money. It is because this is how you keep the water muddy, and the muddier it is, the less probability of anybody to be able to adapt and survive in the infinite game of trading. For the business, does not matter what is the reason you enter the market. What matters is that you enter the market, that you put money and get obsessed with it. Therefore, the more and more ideas and opinions and tools you can put on top of the chart, the more distracted you are and the less likely to understand the simple business end game of manipulation. Part of what we do is detoxify you. It's about cleaning, not adding more. It's about making things clear, that you can see price as the number it is, with objective sequences that give you an objective information that you can use and not validate with any ideology, a form, or a special tool from somebody else. Before price, we are all the same. Price does not care what you know, what you have learned, where you learn it, what you think you know, how much you think you know, and how much backtesting you have performed. Price will only go up or down. But if you train to develop the clear and simple understanding to see the chart and take action by simple numerical processes that happen with or without you, then things will change completely. So my question to you is, do you want to continue being part of this big group of monkeys typing and typing random and infinite combination of strategies, hoping at some point to discover the great combination that will overturn the advantage of access to real information, speed and money of the banks? Or you want to get out from this ideological cage where most people are by learning how to adapt to the business following price in the simple way? Remember, we have an advanced training that allows you to trade any market and financial instrument, and it is final. So you go from a consumer of methods, strategies and systems based on ideologies to becoming a producer and designer of your own methods adapted to your personal reality. Contact us by WhatsApp. I leave you the link below in the description. Subscribe to the channel so you can understand trading in a more in-depth way, so you reach simplicity. Follow us in our other social medias, and I invite you to listen to our podcast, Trading with Logic. You can find it in Spotify. For now, my book is only in Spanish, The Reality of Trading, but working on the translation. You can find it on Amazon. I hope you have a great rest of the day and week, and remember, trade with logos, trade with logic. Until next time.